Warning, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. Hello everybody and welcome to the Derek Ruby Show. I am your host, the previously mentioned Mr. Ruby, and this is Halloween month. And nothing says Halloween more than a review of A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge. Is it called Freddy's Revenge because he's going to get even with Nancy for the big showdown they had in the last movie? Nope. So our movie starts off with our main protagonist Jesse as he's riding the school bus. And we get a cameo of Robert Englund without the makeup on. After some of the others get dropped off, it's only Jesse and a couple girls and the school bus goes on a wild ride and the ground opens up almost as if they're surrounded by hell. And Freddy moves towards the girls and Jesse. And it makes you feel like this is the way the tone of the movie is going to be. So after Jesse screams, we see his sister eating her box of Fu Manchus. Then Jesse wakes up in the cold sweat. He goes downstairs and he's met at the door by his girlfriend Lisa. Then they head to school. Now we see Jesse playing baseball, and he gets into a fight with a guy named Grady. The coach punishes them by making them do push-ups, and they seem to form a little bit of a friendship. Once Jesse informs Grady where he lives, Grady tells him this.
Some chick was locked in there by her mother and she went crazy. She watched her boyfriend get butchered across the street by some maniac.
You're full of shit, Grady.
We get a shot of the old house, and if it's one thing I like from previous movies is that there's continuity. Jesse wakes up and he goes downstairs and he sees something moving outside. So he goes to investigate. He looks through a window and he sees Freddy at a furnace. So he goes back into the house. He opens the basement door and he freaks out a little bit, and then he's met by Freddy.
Daddy can't help you now. I need you, Jesse. We got special work to do here, you and me. You've got the body. I've got the brain.
He wakes up in another cold sweat because it was all a dream. The next day in class, Jesse falls asleep and then a python gets on him. Turns out this isn't actually a dream, this really happened.
If you want to play with animals, Mr. Walsh, join the circus.
Jesse tries to go up to see his girlfriend, but his dad sends him back upstairs to unpack his room. And we get a nice little flamboyant dance. At the end of the dance, his mom and Lisa show up and catch him in the act, and Lisa helps him clean his room. Then she finds Nancy's diary. Here's more of that continuity I was talking about.
March 15th. He comes to me at night. Horrible, ugly, dirty. Under the sheets with me. Tearing at my nightgown with his steel claws. His name is Fred. And he keeps trying to take me to the boiler room. He wants to kill me.
Jesse wakes up once again and his room is extremely hot. He goes downstairs to the boiler room and he finds Freddy's glove. Then Freddy tells him,
Go ahead, Jesse. Try it on for size. Kill for me.
The next day he tells Lisa about what happened and she asks for Nancy's diary. We also establish from Lisa's friend Kim that she's going to have a party this weekend. Jesse and Grady run their mouth about their coach.
Yeah, well, Schneider's got to stick up his ass today.
Schneider's always got to stick up his ass.
Hello, dirtballs.
Remember kids, always look around before you start talking shit. Jesse and his parents are in the living room and it gets really hot. Then we get the attack of the killer bird. After that, Jesse's dad accuses him of causing it somehow. Jesse wakes up in the middle of the night and he goes downstairs to the kitchen. Lightning strikes through the window. Jesse goes walking through the rain. and it looks like he ends up at the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Jesse orders a beer, but before he can drink it, he's caught by Coach Snyder, who takes him to the school and makes him run laps around the gym. After the coach sends Jesse to the shower, Coach Snyder gets attacked by all the sports equipment. He gets drugged into the showers, and Freddy attacks him.
No! No! No!
So it turns out it might not be Freddy after all. That's right, almost halfway through this movie and we finally get a kill. Jesse's taken home by the police and his dad thinks he's on drugs. Jesse goes to school the next day and he finds out
Snyder got wasted last night. He must have been working late. Some maniac came in and sliced him up like a kielbasa. Hacked him in the shower. Got bloody footprints all over the place.
So it makes you wonder, was it a dream or did Jesse actually do it? Jesse gets up out of bed and he goes to his drawer to see Freddy's glove. Then he goes down the hallway and we get a familiar song that we all know. The next day, Jesse confronts his dad and we reveal the backstory of the house to the entire family. And the toaster catches on fire. After Lisa does some research, Jesse and Lisa go to the plant that Freddy used to work at, and they go up to a cabinet door. That rat right there really invoked an emotion in Lisa. The boiler room lights up and it appears Freddy comes out of it, and he goes up to Jesse's sister's bedroom.
Wake up, little girl.
What time is it?
It's late. Go back to sleep.
This is actually good psychology on the movie's part, because it really makes you wonder, is it Freddy or is it Jesse? Then we see Jesse take a bunch of pills to stay awake. The next day at school, Jesse gets into an argument with Lisa and Grady. Lisa's party begins, Jesse sneaks off but Lisa goes after him and they start kissing. Then her parents go to bed and the second that happens, the real party begins. When it comes to Jesse and Lisa, there's just not much to see here, other than Freddy trying to get in on the action. Jesse leaves and he somehow breaks into Grady's house and asks Grady to watch him. Unfortunately for Grady, Freddy is born from Jesse.
Run!
Jesse escapes and shows up at Lisa's house covered in blood. Somehow she still can't believe that he's the killer though. Everything starts to get hot and heavy at the party, and I mean hot and heavy. Lisa, in order to convince Jesse that he has control, reads the last page of Nancy's diary.
He is evil itself. I know now that I brought him into my world. We all did. Gave him all the energy he needed. Our screams were all he needed.
Freddy begins to chase Lisa around the house and he bites her, and they have a little bit of a standoff. Then Freddy busts through the window. Then he makes his grand entrance at the party. We get a lot of kills in this scene, but it seems like Freddy could have accomplished a whole lot more. And Lisa's parents must not be that good because she just leaves in the car and nobody stops her. She drives to the plant and sees these weird dogs with these kid faces. We have a lot of callbacks to the dream world in the first movie. Lisa's having hallucinations. She sees an evil rat, then an evil cat. Freddy and her have a small chase. Then she does the unthinkable. She kisses Freddy Krueger. So after the place burns and Freddy melts, she and Jesse hug it out. A very anticlimactic showdown. Lisa and Jesse get on the bus, and unfortunately for her friend Carrie, Freddy takes an interest in her chest. and that's Freddy's Revenge, A Nightmare on Elm Street 2. What do I think about it? This movie almost ruined the entire Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, and I kind of understand why. Sometimes the movie's not very coherent, it just jumps from one scene to another. Sometimes the scenes are so short, it makes you wonder if they were cut for time, or why the scenes weren't cut out completely. The movie has a lot going for it. It respects the continuity of the first film. They were obviously trying to go in a new direction. There were psychological elements that could have worked if they were fleshed out a little bit more. But Freddy seems pretty weak in this movie, and it seems like he could have killed them numerous times, but he didn't. It's also really refreshing that we had a male protagonist that had to be saved by a heroic female. But with all that said, the bottom line is, we didn't get to see Lisa naked. I mean, we had an anticlimactic showdown. And because of that, the movie suffers a lot. I like watching Nightmare on Elm Street movies, even this one. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. But the guilty pleasure doesn't necessarily mean it's a good movie or a bad movie. In reality, this one's just an average movie. We barely get any kills till the party scene, and the rest of them are pretty lame. So I'm going to give A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge, 2.5 stars. So thank you guys for listening to the Derek Ruby Show, and I hope you guys are enjoying our Halloween month. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram. And as always, have a good one, and I'll see you guys next time. The bottom line is, we didn't get to see Lisa naked.